What's up, everybody? It's your boy SCraftBlendz back again with another barber tutorial, and I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that has subscribed to my channel over the last week. The growth has been amazing, and to everyone who has liked and commented on my last videos, I appreciate you, man. It's such a blessing. Thank you for your support. So today we're going to go ahead and do a bald fade on my man here. And we started out by combing the hair just to prep it. Now we're going to jump in, establishing a soft first initial guideline with the trimmers. And what I mean by soft, we don't have them flipped over, punching that line in. We're just going to go ahead and bald up all the way to the line that we want. Obviously, you want to make it as clean as possible, probably cleaner than the one that I established, but it'll get the job done. Today I'm balding him out using the new JRL 2020 tees, and we'll have a review coming on them sooner or later. But now I'm coming in with the number one open with the grain just to clean up those waves on top, and now I have the number one closed going down with the grain just to, you know, kind of clean up that canvas so that we can fade into it. Now, being we've already established our first initial guideline, that bald line, and balded it out, now we're going to go ahead and hit our second guideline with the blade fully open, no guard. We're going to go up about 3/4 of an inch, and once we've established that second guideline, then we're going to close the clipper blade halfway, and we're going to go halfway between the first and second guideline, like I'm doing right now, and then we'll simply close the blade fully and tap at that first guideline, blending it out, which should not be a problem at all, being we didn't establish a harsh guideline to begin with. You know, we kind of just was flicking up as we, you know, we're shaving up. So we're not going to use shavers on his head today, simply because sometimes some people don't like the balding shaver because it causes irritation or bumps. So we're going to skip that today. That's as bald as we're going to get. Now that we've already, you know, established this first section, now we're going to move into our second section, creating the next guideline. And I'm doing that with a number one closed. And I'm going to go up about an inch with that number one closed and just try to clean out that section as good as possible. And then we'll move in with a half guard. Now I'm using my wall seniors today with the regular senior blade on it and using the premium wall guards, and I'm using this half guard right now, and I like to start with the half guard halfway closed, and then I'll close it as needed to take out that bottom line. However, sometimes we can't get, you know, that line to come out as nice as we would like to. Right now I have it fully closed, tapping at that line, just trying to blend the open blade into that half. Not gonna work all the way, so sometimes I'll take that half guard off and open the blade up again and just make sure I tie those two sections together before we move on. Also, whenever going against the grain of the hair, we want to make sure that we're actually going against the grain of the hair. So if the hair is growing backwards, we want to go towards the front. You know, if it's growing however it's growing, we just want to go against it. So make sure you pay attention to the pattern of the hair. We still have a little faint line in there that we need to take out between that first and second panel. So we're going to take that guard off, and we'll just come right back in with the open blade, flicking at any lines or spots that we see to make sure that those two panels are blended together. Next, we're going to put that number one back on, and we're going to open it all the way up. So we started with that number one fully closed. Now that we have the number one back on, we're going to open it fully up, and we're going to just kind of fade right into the top there, which is the one close going down, remember, at the beginning. So we're going to have that one open going up into that one close that we went down with. And if we need to close it up, you know, to knock out that line that we see and blend those other panels together, then we'll go ahead and do that. So I closed it up again, working on that line. And if I can't get that line fully out with the number 1 closed, then I'll go ahead and put the half guard back on and basically, you know, just begin to open it up and flick into that number 1. It's a process, guys. Sometimes, you know, you can get it the first try with the systems in place. Sometimes you have to take off a guard, put a different guard back on, you know, to tie those things back together. But it should work if you work the system, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, so we're just working the system. Right now I have it fully closed. Once again, just flicking at that line, trying to tie those panels together. And obviously this isn't a low fade, you know, this is like a mid to high fade. But we're just gonna make sure that it's clean regardless, right? And it's so cool because some of the barbers in the shop walked up to me and they were like, dude, you're a beast, you know, and they were asking him, you know, what do people say about your haircut when you're out and about? And he's like, man, I get so many compliments on my cut. And that's a blessing to me, man. I appreciate that. So we always want to make sure that we do a good job. And I think it's important that they get compliments and they get stopped in the mall and things like that. And people ask them, hey, where you get your haircut at? You know, it makes them feel good. It makes them feel confident that they made the right decision in choosing the barber that they chose. And, you know, that's a good thing. So now, once again, we have that half guard on and we're just, you know, working on tying those panels together. I found that with lighter hair, it's a lot easier to tie panels together. But with darker hair, obviously you see more, so you got to work on it a little bit. And we'll come back in a little while and we'll detail a little bit more. But just like we did on the side, we're going to do to the back. And what you do on one side, you do to the other side. So we go ahead and jump in with that blade fully open, and then we'll close it halfway and go halfway between our first and second guideline, and then we'll close it all the way up and knock out that bottom guideline. And then once we've done that, we'll go ahead and jump into that number 1, and I might switch it up in the back. I'm gonna go ahead and do, you know, that number 1 closed again. And last time, whenever I went through with the 1 fully closed and, you know, smoothed out that next panel, then I jumped to my half guard and started tying those 2 panels together, the first and the second one. However, this time I think I just go ahead and open the 1 fully like I did right there, and I just go ahead and start blending with that open 1 into the top, and then I'll come back in a little bit and work on that bottom line. But you know, as I'm working my systems, if I realize that I have to take a guard off and put another guard on and then put the other guard back on, I just go ahead and try to work with the guard that I have on, whether it's closed, open, whatever, just to make sure that, you know, I'm saving time by not switching through a bunch of different guards, right? So then once I kind of clean this area up, then I'll go ahead and put that half guard back on, and you know, and then I go ahead and tie those panels together. But there again, when using a half guard, whether it's just a half guard or a 1.5 guard, I usually don't open it up fully. I go ahead and just open it up halfway and close it. So halfway and close it. And the reason being is because the half guard fully open is actually longer than a number 1 close when you do the math. So, you know, instead of wasting all the time opening it up fully, it's easier just to go ahead and open it halfway and then work from there. So I went ahead and now, just to clean things up, took the half guard off, went back to my blade open, and I'm just going to close it as needed to kind of remove any lines and knock out any dark spots. My man Manny, God bless my hands, just entered the building, said what's up to us. If you're not following Manny, which is God bless my hands on YouTube or God Bless My Hands TV on Instagram, you are missing out. He is a beast of a barber, man. Beast of a barber. And we're so honored to have him on our team. So once again, I'm just laying a good foundation on this fade. I'll come back later and touch up whatever I need to touch up. But I like to just work my way through the system. And once I get all the way around the head, then I'll come back and clean everything up. So, you know, still doing some work, just trying to make sure this thing is, you know, coming together, looking blended. There again, I'm detailing, but this isn't my final pass through. Once I, you know, hit up the front line and do all my enhancements and things like that, then I come back at the end of the cut and really make sure everything is detailed. So I usually start when doing the front edge. I'll comb all the hair down. I start in the middle, work my way out to one corner, and then I'll work my way over to the other corner and make sure we have that, you know, nice and sharp. So then I come in with some color enhancement just to give that line just an extra pop. The line, as you can see, it was already nice and sharp and clean. However, that color enhancement, man, just makes it pop so much more. I'm a huge fan of color enhancement. I know there's a lot of people who don't like it, and to each his own, right? So now that we got that all cleaned up, now I'm gonna come on the top and just freehand with my trimmers any loose hairs that I see. And I'll also come back with my curved shears and just, you know, hit the top a little bit more, hitting any of the loose hairs. But now I'm coming in, now that I have a better perspective with the lineup on, with some color enhancement on the edge, I'll come in and just start tapping at little dark spots I see or any lines and just trying to really blend this thing together. In the back there, in the area that I'm kind of fading into, you'll see it's a little bit darker right there. So I'll just work at that for a little while, making sure I get it nice and blended all the way around. And I'll do the same thing to the other side. I just work my way all the way around the head, working on details and you know, dark spots and lines to make sure everything is blended nicely. You know, we'll keep on doing that, and then we'll hit them with the razor and use the curved shears to make sure everything is nice and clean. But yeah, this is where I take my time to really just make sure I'm detailing the cut. Usually on a 30-minute cut like this, I'll spend 20 minutes of my time just getting through the cut, laying the foundation, make sure it's clean and everything. But then I use that last 10 minutes of my time just to detail. Then I come in with the razor, make sure we clean up that line really nice on the front. And man, this cut's starting to come together, I think, you know. Tell me what you think in the comments. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I try to drop at least 1 to 2 videos a week, sometimes 3. Sometimes it's haircut tutorials. Other times, you know, it may be some behind the scenes camera, lighting, you know, information, stuff like that. But yeah, so if you're not subscribed, please do that. The support means everything to me. It's a real blessing to the channel. Also, make sure that you like, comment, all those things. And I try to respond to every comment that comes through. If they are negative about myself or the person in the chair, I usually erase them, simply because, man, I don't want my customer going through, you know, excited about his YouTube premiere, you know, and then reading comments like you're ugly, you're fat, you're, you know, his, you know, whatever the case may be. I just think it's not cool, so I'll erase those. I don't want to hurt anybody. So now we come in, clean up the top with the shears, come back in, clean up the back of the neck, make sure we have everything nice and clean. And then I'll come back in with my trimmers, and there again, make sure any lines or spots are taken out, and then we have a nice clean blend. And then, you know, I gotta hit them with that cherry almond alcohol at the end, get them feeling like a real man with that sting, get them smelling fresh, and that's the finished cut. So once again, I just want to thank you guys. And if you are not following me on Instagram, make sure you do that at S.Craft_blends with a Z. Till next time, God bless you guys. Peace.